Some solution. Trying to start video and this.
It's highly the immune system.
Can't end person.
Zoom guys. So it's live on Facebook.
It's not even streaming. It's streaming. Okay. Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the marketplace with Uche Onoche this evening. I hope your day's been good. For some of us, Monday is our best days. Some say it's a too serious day, but I think it's the best day out of the weekend. We just come to unwind and just be there. So I just want to thank all of you for coming out today, this evening. It's always a delight to see you guys. It's always a delight. Worry six. Good to see you all the way from the US. How you doing today? How's your family? I welcome all of you to today's edition of What's on Your Mind. Sorry, today's edition of Make the Marketplace with Uche Onoche. I greet you all Today we're talking about how to close a deal. How do you close a deal, even with the most complex customers? How do you close a deal, even with the most complex customers? So we just want to. What I've come to realize in life is really that um, difficult things or the things that lead to success, these things are not usually big things. Because I try to weigh when we tackle issues and challenges. I've come to realize that success is as a result of doing um, simple things well. It's as a result of doing simple things on time and with speed. Success is as a result of doing simple things well and on time. Um, and so it is something taking care, or rather taking care of little things. It's never the big things. It's never the two big things and the thing that, oh, when there's a big problem, now we need to fold our sleeves and begin to work. No, for me, I see it differently. When I see a big thing, I just feel that there are little things that have been little things that were neglected along the line, along the way, and now those little things have become big things. That's how I see it, and that's how I've come. Experience have taught me that that when you see a big issue, there were little things that were ignored along the line, and now those little things have become big, and it becomes challenging. Okay, so the same thing applies with how to close a deal. Many of us think it's something out of this world, how to close a deal. You have to have a charisma. Yeah, of course, charisma is good. You have to have this. And people will tell you, I'm not a good salesperson. I dealt with a topic of how to be charming. And people say, no, I'm not charming. I can't be charming. There are different kinds of people. There are people that can be charming that I'm not. And by the time I treated the topic, how to be charming, a lot of people were like, wow. So you mean that these 5 or 6 steps that you've given will transform me to become someone that they can say is charming? And I got a lot of text messages being left on my DM, thanking me, and all the things that we did, all the things that they learned from that presentation. So the same thing applies with how to close a deal. You can just look at life as if maybe you're disadvantaged and you don't think that maybe this can work. This can work for you, but it can. You can learn to close a deal. All of us need to learn to close a deal. So let's just go in and see what this presentation holds for us today. Let's just see an overview. There are techniques, many techniques techniques you can use to close a deal, which can work with even the most complex customers. And if you're able to apply them, you will get better results. It's about results. And when you close a deal, it's about sales or it's about profitability one way or the other. So apply these techniques that I'm going to share with you today. And when you apply these techniques, you realize that it becomes easy for you. If you're a salesperson, you already know that feeling. You understand that feeling, one of shaking hands, every shaking hands when a sale is concluded. In our minds, when I was in sales, I'm always when I was in sales, I will always look forward to that handshake. Thank you, sir. You will not regret our product or services. That is a moment, that feeling of intense or that immense satisfaction and fulfillment. To those in sales, there's that fulfillment, and it doesn't really need to be in sales. You can be the CEO negotiating things, contracts, negotiating anything in life. When you can master the acts of sales, you can master the act of negotiation, and you can use it in every area of your life. So there's this immense feeling of satisfaction when you close a deal. So the techniques to close a deal are not always simple. I must let you know, because sometimes customers are sometimes demanding, and customers sometimes do not know even what they want. So those can be trying experiences for us. How do we close a deal when we have customers that are too demanding and don't even know what they want? But this presentation will balance it out in the fact that you need to know that you need to expect to experience negotiations of this type. These are when you meet a difficult customer, then now you know that you are becoming experienced in sales. If you can get a difficult customer to buy from you, you close a deal with a difficult customer, you realize that you are getting close. You are gathering that experience as a salesperson to close a deal. Interactions or discussions that could last for weeks. There are some interactions or discussions that could last for weeks, and at the end of the day, it might not even work out. So just realize that closing a deal doesn't necessarily mean that everything you have to close it and to your benefit. But you learn when you meet difficult people. Anytime when I was in sales, anytime we lose a deal, we always come back and find out what did we do wrong, what happened, and from there we're able to learn and prepare ourselves and have a better pitch for the next person that we are going to meet. Okay, so what are the best negotiation techniques to close a deal, you may ask? You see, the issue now is nobody can control the behavior of another person. You cannot control the behavior of another person, but during a sale, you can orientate the questions towards your own interest. You can orientate the answers towards your own interest. So if you are experienced in the act of closing a deal, you will always be shifting the ground in your favor, because you understand exactly what to do to guide you one step after the other into closing a deal. And these are some of the things that we'll be learning today, how to be guiding the conversation to close a deal, because it can be really frustrating, if not painful, that you have been pursuing a client for 3 months, 6 months, or 1 week, 2 weeks, but intensely. Then all of a sudden you lose that customer, or you lose that deal. It's very, very painful. And maybe you lose it to a competitor. You lose it to somebody that you might feel that is not as experienced as you in sales, and you're wondering how come this person was able to do it. Okay, so the thing is that you need techniques that can guide you to help you to be able to close that deal. And I'm going to share about 9 of them. If I have time, I'll be able to share 9 of them that can better prepare you, balance your mind, so that once you get into that pitch, I used to tell people the easy part is, well, it's not that it's easy, it's to finding these customers, getting there. It takes a lot for you to research and get a customer, find out what they want. Then you have to pass through the security, pass through the gate men, pass through PAs, nasty PAs and secretaries, only for you to get before the purchasing manager or get before the CEO, and you lose the deal. It can be painful. It can be painful, especially to those of us in Nigeria. It's you have to, everybody is expecting you. You have to, in sales, we had, there was a training we went to, how to break through doors, how to pass through security, how to pass through the first gate, how to pass through the first door. How do you pitch things to a gate man when you don't know anybody in the company? How do you get in? And you've gone through all that, and it can be a difficult process to go through all that, only for you to get to the person that will be able to, you have to close the deal with, only for you to get there, and guess what? You lose that opportunity to close the deal. It's very painful, and I've been in that situation, and I know how it feels. So I feel that I should bring some of these techniques. Let's discuss it. From these techniques, you just have at the back of your mind that you can develop it on your own, but just have a mental image of what you want anytime you sit with somebody and you want to close a deal. The first one is to try and be impassive. Try and be impassive. What does it mean? Giving no sign of feeling or showing any emotions at all. You have to be careful when you sit with a potential customer. Show no feelings whatsoever, or show no emotions, because you need to realize that there's something about a customer, about a buyer. A buyer is watching your every move, because first of all, we live in a country where there's a lot of suspicion. There's a lot of suspicion out there, and the person might look at you well dressed, well spoken, but somewhere is inside of him is telling him that this person can be a con man or a con woman, or things like that. So they are very suspicious. Nobody wants to lose their money. And so you have to be very careful. Try as much as possible. Do not show any form of emotions or any sign of feeling when you are there. Try as much as possible to pack it in. There's nothing worse for a prospect to detect the feeling of nervousness or impatience from you. Okay, there's some people, you go to their office and they want to discuss football. They want to discuss why did they beat Man U in that way? And he wants to start discussing football with you. Yes, you know about football, but you want to close this deal. You're already thinking, have a mental image, how you can get to your boss that this, because you feel that the deal is already sealed. Look, let me tell you, until they give you that paper or whatever they're giving you to show that that thing is sealed, it can go either way. So you need to be very, very careful when you are before your prospect, because anything can go wrong. Don't show impatience. So it means that, because when you come and you're showing me impatience, what you are invariably telling me is that you can't wait to take my money and go. And if I see any form of impatience, it can show me, impatience can show me that you are just in it for the money and you're not even here to service a customer. I would think that your after sales services will be something that is worrisome, because if this one is impatient to collect my money, will he even have the patience to come and see me if there's a problem, or if I call him, I need something? Because some people, once you buy something from them and you try to call them to even ask them something in the manual, how can I use this? They won't answer you again. You have done their part. They've done their part. They don't even want to answer you again. So impatience. Why are you impatient when you come to somebody's office, you come to sell? You don't need to show, or you're nervous. When somebody is nervous, when you're nervous and you come before me, I am wondering, are you sure that this thing that you are selling to me is actually genuine? No, because why are you nervous? Are you lying? Are you hiding something about this service? Are you hiding something about this product? Why are you nervous? You understand? Don't show any, or you are too happy. That can also be an issue. Hey, you are too happy. Who told you you have the deal already? Oh, so you think that you have impressed me enough that now you are happy, it can still go either way. Do not show any form of emotions. Not that you will not smile, but let your face be a bit blank so that they can't even read you, because I'm trying to read you. When you start when you are before a prospect, he's trying to read you to see if there's a mistake anywhere. He's trying to see, okay, you see, I said it, these people are fraudsters. He has that at the back of his mind already. So don't give him anything that will make him conclude that, yeah, these people are fraudsters. They will not do the things that they say they will do. What you need to do is focus on mastering your sales speech, ignoring the pressure, even when you are in a hurry. Pack it in. If you are irritated, you are in a hurry, whatever it is, pack it in. Be patient. Stay on your pitch and don't show any form of emotions looking at your watch. When you come to sell something to me and you're looking at your watch, always looking at your watch, I'm going to be worried, as in, hey, what's happening here? Why is this man looking at his watch in such a way? Why is he looking at his watch? And I begin to I worry and say, what's happening here? So the thing is, try as much as possible to be impassive when you're dealing with the client. Another thing is that don't get upset no matter what. The clients will upset you. Some clients are rude. Some clients are, some of these things you need to realize that when you have an encounter with some people, it has to do with their upbringing. It has to do with maybe what happened to them at home, a lot of things that they are carrying, and you don't allow them to you don't allow yourself to be sucked into what they are going through, and by also becoming upset. So like I said it, one of the things that helps you to close a deal is try not to show your emotions and don't get upset. Remember that sometimes your customers may simply need your product or service without even knowing all the details. That can be a very frustrating time. It is always frustrating to me when I meet customers that don't even have details. They know that, oh, they need something, but they don't have any details of what of my product. So I have to start explaining, and sometimes it can take a long time to explain, and they'll be asking you questions, and you can be in your mind, you can say, a child can answer this. Even a teenager, a child can answer this. In your mind, a child can answer this. But don't get upset. You see, when it comes to the point of exchange, where you are trying to exchange something from someone, you need to be patient. When you're going to collect money from somebody, you need to be patient, because people have mixed feelings. They have mixed feelings when they want to exchange money. They want to know that they are getting their money's worth. So you have to be patient with them, and go through the motions of explaining your product, your service, that this and that and that. It's normal for you to feel frustrated, but do not take it personally. Don't take it personally in any way. Don't take it personal in any way at all. Always keep your emotions inside of you. Keep your professional approach, and you will close the deal. Try to be as professional as you can. Try as much as possible to be as professional as you can. And once you do that, you will definitely close the deal. They are very, very annoying prospects, very, very annoying customers, but always project that professional approach to everything, answer them, be patient with them, do everything. Sometimes they might even be trying you. Sometimes they might even be trying you. Sometimes they might even be trying you. So you have to be patient with these people. Keep your professional approach, and you will close the deal. Okay. The third one I want to share with you guys is accept the option of your client. Sorry, not option, the opinion of your client. It's a super effective sales technique for getting along with people. Accept their opinion. Your voice, and it's through your voice. Even if there's a way you can agree with somebody, it doesn't mean that you are affirming what they're saying, but you agree. You see, they say the customer is king. The customer is your boss. So you need to be able to assess, you need to be able to accept their opinions, not necessarily agreeing with what you're saying, but you have to position yourself in such a way that you are able to not displease them, but you're also firm at what you want to achieve. And for me, I see it as the tone. Your voice is something that will help you in this way. Modulate your tone, adjust your speech rate, modify it. It's powerful to gain respect of your customers by you are not in conflict and loggerheads or opposition with what your client is saying. And so he's saying this, you are agreeing with him, but in that you are looking for ways for you to be able to pass across your message. Don't be seen by your prospect as someone that is coming to argue with them to prove that they know. It can be a deterrent to closing deals. In this way, you'll be able to convince them and hold their attention throughout the conversation. There's something they say in our local parlance there that, as in, I agree, doesn't lead to fight or quarrel. So if I agree with you, there's a tendency that two of us are going to coast along the way. Fine, I agree. I agree with you doesn't necessarily mean if I have a posture that says I agree with you, well, it doesn't necessarily mean I agree with that thing that you're doing, but I agree with you so that you are in a position that the person is relaxed and that you can see his point of view. But it doesn't mean that the deal is closed yet. It doesn't mean that you are, it doesn't mean that you are accepting, you are bending over for the person, but you are coming in a way that you're making him comfortable with you. And once he's comfortable with you and you allow him to say those things, his fears and all that, it will be easier for you to be able to now tell him, sir, I know these are your fears, but let's do this, this can do this, this can do that. And it will help you along the way. The fourth thing I want to talk about is focus on your speech, on your client. I want to still stress this, focus your speech on your client. It's not about you. It's not about you, but it's about your client. When the conversation starts to get out of hand, the main thing is to redirect the dialogue towards the client himself or herself. There's a time that, people talk, conversations, people are talking. After a while, you will realize that you are going off. You will realize that you are going off. So when that happens, what you need to do is that you try to redirect the dialogue towards the client, towards the client himself or herself. So try to understand what he or she likes to engage with your prospect. Try to understand what he or she likes to engage with your prospect. This can break the ice. It breaks the ice. And when someone talks about his concerns, it's much easier for you now to present your product or service to answer his or her particular needs. So when we are going off, try and bring back the story back to them. So you say this product, this is actually what you need. If we go off tangent, try to bring it back. This your need. This, sir, man, is it actually, let me understand that. This is what you need, right? This is your concern. This is the solution that you want. And the person, yes, this is the solution that I want. This is what I want. This is what, once you begin to talk about this is what I want, this is the solution, now it's about him. When you get, because there are some points you get to in the course of your conversation, and you get to the course of your conversation that you realize that you people are not even in the same, you are not saying the same thing. Take it back to the person. Redirect it back to the person, to their problem. Because now the idea is that they have a problem and you're coming to solve that problem by giving them a service or a product. So when you guys are talking, and there are some clients that know how to talk, that like to talk, and they can confuse you. After a while, they will say many things. When you're confused and you see that you are not getting anywhere, and because if you don't do anything fast enough, the client will tell you, okay, let me see you next week. Let's talk, when a client tells you, okay, let me digest it, let me see you next week, most of the time he's not going to see you next week. He's not seeing you next week. He's not even seeing you ever. Or even if he sees you, tell you, sorry, I don't think we can use this. That's why I didn't get back to you. So always redirect it to their problem. And once you understand what their problem is, it becomes easier for you to know the angle that you will channel your product or service to meet that particular need. A lot of people lose it there. A lot of people lose it there when the conversation starts going to other things and you are trying to explain and explain, you know, always go to the problem that that person has. And from that problem, it becomes easier for you to offer them the solution. Okay? The fifth one is that you have to care for your clients. Without care, it's difficult. It will be difficult for you to even sell. Find out what goals your potential customers are looking for. Ask them. You know, when you have a potential customer or you have a customer, ask them what are their goals for the year. If you are offering a product to students, ask them their goals for that semester. Because everybody has a target. Everybody has a target. If you're offering, and I got to realize this when I worked with a company and I was offering services to some of almost all the oil majors here in Nigeria. I realized that even the procurement managers have a target. They have a goal. They have a target. They have something that they need to achieve, and is an appraisal issue for them. I had a procurement manager that told me, said, see, the man that sat on this seat messed up. And because he messed up, he was rocking a lot of deals, and a lot of substandard products were brought in that the company had to destroy because they could not use it. So now all eyes are on him. All eyes are on him to make sure that he will deliver. So he told me, he said, see, my brother, please, it's a job. I have five children. And please, this is my job that I need to be able to take care of my family. Whatever it takes, give me they give me the premium, give me the standard product at the premium price. Don't bring it down. Make sure that this is what you say is what you're going to bring for the sake of my job. Now you understand where his problem is. So you are not cutting corners. So some people now, if they didn't have people that don't have that information, they were bringing in cheaper quotes. But this man, and nobody is going to tell you, this man is not looking for cheap quotes at all, because he's looking for quality. And he knows that he will get quality at this price. And he has told the company that you people, is because you people are looking for cheap. That's why we ran into that problem. Why don't we try quality, but get quality at the best price? So their policy for that year was top quality at the best price. So when you're bringing something too low, you won't be considered. And the only reason why I was able to do that, we were able to win consecutively, was because I understood what the man's problem was. Take out time to find out what is the appraisal issue. What is the appraisal issue for your customers, for your clients? Don't just assume that how did I come about? It's not as if the man was my friend. No, it was just, they just made him procurement manager not too long after I saw him. So, but the thing was, when I came in and we got talking, we're just sharing and talking, and I just asked him, sir, let me work according to your goals this year. What is your goals? What do you want to achieve? I see that you are new here. That as a vendor, I want to help you succeed. As I said it, the guy's face just lit up. So you see that I've struck a chord. So because that was exactly what he was thinking. And as I said it, he was like, okay, this is my problem. This is where I am. I need to perform on this job. If you're going to help me perform for the next 5 years, I will not change you. I will make sure that the decision to change vendor will be in 5. The decision to review tenders will be in 5 years. That's what he said, and that was what he did. That was what he did. And as he even progressed to become a GM in the organization, he still used the company I was working, because all of us knew what the issues were. So when you care for your client, it shows. So now that you know his issues, you are able to align your sales pitch to their needs and create a feeling of confidence that will help you to close the deal, even with the most stubborn prospects. Always look for ways to break down. Always look for ways that you will be able to connect at some level. Connect at some level with your customers. Okay, let's look at the 6th point here. Is take ownership of your customer's problem. You have to take ownership of your customer's problem. Before closing a sale, it's important that you know how much prospects want to resolve their situation that makes them uncomfortable. Just like I said before, find out how much these prospects want to solve the situation. Are they ready? What is their, because if he or she has already presented his problem to you, it becomes easy. The next step is to know if the prospect is ready to resolve their issue, ready to buy. And if they are ready to buy, then it's easy for you to now offer the solution. Try and in your discussion, always bring out the problem. their problem. Understand their problem, then you'll be able to pitch to them exactly what your product or services can do for them. So the main point is, when you people start to drift off, go back to the problem. Always keep their problem in view. Always keep their problem in view. It's not about you, it's about their problem. Always keep it in view. And when that is in view, it becomes easy. When it's in view, it becomes easy for him. It becomes, when it's in view, it becomes easy for you to offer them a solution. It becomes easy for you to offer them a solution. Bring up, I can't see. It becomes easy for you to offer. So that is where you are taking ownership of the customer's problem. And at that point, it's difficult. It's difficult for you not to close a deal, because now you are a solution provider. It will be difficult for you not to close a deal. Okay, the 7th point is take initiative. Take initiative. From time to time, when you are trying to close a deal, you may feel people who are trying to distract you from your sales pitch. They can talk to you about something else, steer the conversation in another direction, interrupt you, or make you talk about yourself. It's just like journalists that will tell you, if they're interviewing you and you ask them a personal question, they tell you, no, it's not about me, it's about you. I'm asking the questions. So you also need, it's not about you, but it's about their problem. Even if you answer your about yourself, let it be short. Let it not look as if you're being rude or evasive, but you also go back and say it's about your problem. Always stick to the problem of your client, and it becomes easy. You could interrupt them politely with statements like, I don't understand, like, I understand you perfectly, but what if I finish talking about this quickly, so that we can talk about whatever you want. Always make sure you conclude your pitch. Always make sure you put it out there, because there are some people that may feel that they know what you're going to say, but they actually don't know what you're going to say. They actually don't know the angle that you're coming from. So it is good that you find a way to make them finish your pitch. Sam, I'm Uche, I'm from this, I'm from that. But sir, I will tell you more about myself, but let's just get your issues out of the way, your problems out of the way. Let me just offer this solution and know that you're comfortable because I came to your office. Then you can flatter them a bit. There's nothing wrong in flattering with sales. Flatter them a bit. You are my main concern. Let us see how we can do this. Then I can now come back and tell you about myself if you're interested in. So you need to take the initiative and try to guide yourself. If not, if you let them continue to talk, the distractions will be too much for you. Okay, I've also seen another thing that can cause us to lose the opportunity to close a deal. That's the issue of being superior. When customers feel that when you become, some people go there to lecture their prospects and lecture their prospects about their products, make their prospects look as if they don't understand, they are superior, and prospects don't like, or customers don't like for you to come and talk to them as if they are kids. Maybe sometimes your motor mechanic will want to be talking as if you didn't go to school at all. And you know that he's just using all those technical jargons to see how he's going to rip you off. So the thing is, at some point, you become irritated and say, okay, just park my car, just leave my car. Because you are trying to make them feel that because you're a technical person, you are trying to bully me with all those technical jargons. And you just put off your prospects immediately. and you can never close that deal. I've had that when you come and you are just talking. And one was coming to lecture me about car. And I told him, do you know how many cars I've had? I said, I've had over 10 cars in the course of my life, over 10 cars, close to 15. So do you think that I've not been repairing them? What makes you feel that I don't have an idea that you sit in front of me and want to come and lecture me as if I don't know anything about vehicle because I'm not a mechanical engineer? So it is understandable to adopt a authoritarian position with complex clients. However, expressions like you are wrong, let me tell you the truth, sir, let me tell you the truth about this thing. Once you begin to talk like that, there are chances that you're putting up, sir, you are wrong. I know when you use all those things, it becomes difficult. It's like you are now coming to lecture your prospect that is going to give you his money. Nobody is going to release money when you make them feel as if they don't know anything. You see, it can offset those. Make sure it's more effective to share information objectively and to be interested in the opinion of your prospect. When you talk, allow your prospects to talk. When you talk, allow your prospects to talk. And you people are sharing, even though you are passing information to them, even though you are passing information to them, is even though you are even educating them, let it be in a way that they understand. Don't make it look as if you are doing them a favor. You cannot come and talk to me as a child and expect me to give you my money. The same way when you go to a supermarket to buy something or going to a shop to buy something and you're asking them questions and they become irritated by answering you and you like, why would I give somebody my money that is not valuing those things? So those valuing my money, I want somebody to be polite to me. I want somebody to be polite to me when I'm exchanging my money. When I'm exchanging, I'm giving you money. There has to be an extent of respect. Don't talk to me as if I'm a novice, a complete novice, or a dullard. That in itself feeling superior. Some companies, maybe because they are big brands, when they come to talk to you, they come to lecture you. I'm big brand, and most of the time, their salespeople they lose out because they lose out of the deals because they are talking to you. They are trying to use that brand to intimidate you. It's not about the brand; it's about what I want. I'm a client. It doesn't matter. I'm a client. Is what I want. Is what I want that you should be. Is what I want that you need. So you need to let your prospects know exactly, but do it in the form of anybody up in trying to look so superior or say this brand name. Once somebody came to tell me about generator, and he's talking and he was calling it a brand name and all that. I said, look, this brand, how many other brands are there in the country? He says there are many, many brands. I say, so what makes you feel that because you have one name, I don't want to call the names of anybody, and because you have this, so it means that this brand, it means that no other brand can work. He just felt that that brand will open doors for him. Not necessarily, because somebody would have had a bad experience with that brand, not with the technical part, but the salespeople, or have a problem with the office people there, and he wouldn't want anything to do with the brand. So there are many things and many reasons why people don't deal with brands, not because the brands are not effective. So you need to be careful how you talk to your clients. Don't feel superior. And lastly, take nothing personally. I've said it before. Try to take nothing personally. Complex potential customers are part of sales process. What did I say? Complex potential customers are part of the sales process. If you have not met them, then you are not in sales. If you have not if you have not sold to a difficult person, then you are not in sales. If you don't have, if you can't tell me this is a difficult person, this person is difficult, and I have been able to sell to him, this man, then I will know that you're a good salesperson. Your interactions with prospects can get you nowhere, but it's important not to neglect their behavior. Your task is to maintain a pleasant and respectful atmosphere throughout your presentation, avoiding bad gestures or signs. Remember that in most cases, unwanted behavior has nothing to do with you. Bad behavior, realize it has nothing to do with you. It's a reflection of the personal difficulties your prospect may experience at other stages of their life. Some people are difficult is because a salesperson has come and has duped them, or someone has come and has offered them, spoken well like you, and at the end of the day, they did not enjoy the service or the product. So what that means is that don't think, why is this man being difficult? It's because of the experiences he might have passed through. So now you're coming and make sure you give him a good experience so that you can change the narrative and so he can be trusting again. Because I am being difficult doesn't mean that I will not be able to trust somebody or trust a product again. It's just that I am being careful. So when you see people, just be patient with them. Try and be patient with them, and gradually you will shift them to that point where they can trust you. And if you can get a difficult, suspicious customer to trust you, believe me, that customer is not going anywhere else until you give him a reason, because he knows that he will say, this one, I have found somebody that is a person of integrity. I don't want to lose this person again. It doesn't matter if a customer is unpleasant, as long as he remains profitable. Listen to me. It's about the money. It's about sales. It doesn't matter if the customer is unpleasant, as long as he remains profitable. Your company, your bosses will not listen. They want the money. And every day they come, they say, show me the money. They don't care whether you get insults from customers. It's about the money. So even if you are the owner of the business and you meet those customers, fine. You just say, as long as they are paying, you just tolerate them. Know this, you'll be able to better manage the pressure and successfully resolve any issue that arises when closing sales. Okay, I will summarize in this way. Now that you know how to apply these techniques to close a deal, it's up to you to check the effectiveness of your sales team in terms of closing. So now you understand, you can sit with your sales team and you guys can discuss issues. You bring them up to speed. You understand how to guide them and train them so they can close a deal. There are a lot of books there that can help people. Some people, I say salespeople, once they resume, you should be able to give them 1 or 2 books they can use to help them in their journey in the sales department. So I wish you good luck in closing deals from now on. Realize that closing deals are not too complex. It's not complex. It's just to understand the act of it. Be conscious of the things that happen. Very conscious of the things that happen between you and your customer and your client. When you're conscious of that, it becomes easy. It will become easy for you, to close the deal. All right. So on Wednesday, I want to specially invite you on Wednesday to What's on Your Mind. Wednesday live with me, Jim. And how does it work? Just send in your questions to my DM. Just send your questions to my DM. I will come by 4 p.m. Nigerian time, West African time, 4 p.m. for 1 hour and answer your questions. So all you just need to do, put out your question in my DM. We will take it and I will answer you. It's just 4 p.m. It has helped a lot of people. What's on your mind? started during the lockdown when people were asking a lot of questions, and we now had to be able to respond to them. And that was where during the lockdown during the lockdown we were talking to people, answering questions, and from there after the lockdown, we continued in that. We also continued in that way. So just ask me, put out your comments on my DM. I will pick it up and I will answer you on Wednesday. I look forward to seeing you. Some people say, look, Uche, I need you to coach me. I've coached a lot of people to success, a lot of successful people, and look, I need to coach you one-on-one. It's fine. We can make out time for that. All you just need to do is hook up, just indicate interest, and we will get in touch with you and talk to you about that. In November, we'll be having the TMG model. For those of you that came to our Make in Nigeria conference and exhibition, we'll be having our TMG forum, where we discuss TMG model, our Think, Make, Grow. And it's coming up in November. I will let you know. The adverts will be all over the internet, and so you know the first edition of our TMG forum will come up. Okay. All that with that said, I want to thank you, Warri6. Thank you for showing up. The rest of you on my Instagram page, I just want to say thank you guys for coming. Those of you on Zoom here with me, thank you. And on YouTube also, I want to thank all of you for showing up today. And to those on Facebook also, thank you for showing up today. Do have a pleasant evening. I'll see you on Wednesday. I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday. Invite someone, please share the adverts when you get it. Invite someone, let them ask a question. I'll be glad to answer it on Wednesday. Thank you guys. God bless you and good night.